G'day and welcome to Waving Green. It's worked out that I've been flag marshalling in Australia, mostly initially with the Australian Superbike series around the country for 6 years. I started a separate Facebook channel for Cliffo's Racing Support Services a couple of years ago, where I started putting up videos of my time and pictures of times on track to be able to promote race marshalling as one of the many opportunities to participate as a volunteer in Australian motorsport. Volunteering's been fantastic with a great community of other marshals that I see around the tracks, and it's also been an opportunity to meet some particularly younger riders as they rise up through the ranks from their club and their regional success particularly into the Australian Championship in the 300, the Supersport 300 series. Working up into the 600s, 700s, and then into the superbikes. Some of them moving off overseas and having great success to various levels in the European arenas of different competitions. Last year was the first of the Women's World Circuit Racing Championship around Europe, and our first Australian contender for that was Tayla Relph. Tayla came straight out of the gates at the two-day testing in Cremona in Italy and actually went to the top of the podium in the very first outing, finishing up 7th in the competition of 23 riders over the course of 2024. She's now back in Australia, taking advantage of our summer season here, which is an advantage over her northern counterparts, that she can get some testing and some practice done before heading back into the competition in 2024. It was a great opportunity to catch up with Tayla, and I hope you enjoy this video.
All stations waving green except for 12, who is waving yellow.
G'day, it's Cliffo here for Waving Green at Sydney Motorsport Park for the final round of the Sydney Motorsport Summer Night Series. And we've got some fantastic riders out tonight. We've got Tayla Relph is back from Europe after contesting as the first Australian woman in the World Women's Championship racing, and back again this year, Tayla. So welcome to Waving Green.
Yeah.
So you're back for Christmas, and you've been back home for a little while, and you're doing some stuff here in Australia before you go back to Europe. And so you're racing out tonight, and I'll put a photo of the beautiful machine and the lovely colour scheme of white and what's that, aggressive salmon or pink? Fluoro pink. I'll put a picture of it up because it is a beautiful machine. So how are you going, Tayla?
Yeah, really good. Obviously, being in Australia, it's our summer break, so we're just, trying to ride as much as possible. Obviously, over in Europe, it's winter, so a lot of my competitors can't really ride as much as what I can. So, yeah, we're just trying to, get that one step forward before we do head back over to the championship, which we'll be heading off in about 5-6 weeks' time. Getting the season underway again. So it's been awesome racing at Sydney Motorsport Park. First time here on the R7, and obviously yesterday we only had a 10-minute qualifier to learn the track, and from my first qualifying session to race 2, I managed to drop like 4.5 seconds or something like that. So really good progression, and looking like it's going to rain tonight, but
Oh look, right. The Summer Night Series, I've just been reflecting with some of the marshals down at the muster shed that you don't get a Summer Night Series weekend. Sometimes it's one day, mostly it's the 2 nights in a row, and one of them has got to be wet. It's just the way of the way it is. But so you're back, you're racing here, but you've done some other riding around the place since you've come home to get key in some learnings from over there and with the R7 now?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, this is just testing for us. This is our opportunity to just try some things that we didn't get to try over in Europe. Like different shock settings, different shock springs, and just some weird and wacky settings altogether. Just to actually see what does work on the bike and what changes we can make and how that affects the bike, and just try and get a little bit more of an in-depth understanding. So sometimes we're out there and our lap times maybe aren't super quick, but that's literally just because we're testing. That's why we're here. As much as we just want to do quick laps all the time, that's not really what testing's all about. So it's been a really good thing. We've made a lot of progress since being back in Australia. Obviously it was a no-brainer for us to head to Sydney Motorsport Park just to add another track to the list of tracks we've ridden on the R7. So it's been really good, and just riding on a different GP style circuit. This is quite technical, like European circuits as well.
Right.
So it's been really good testing for us yesterday, and again hopefully we get at least one dry session today.
Now, the Sydney's not necessarily where we're talking the first choice, because your home track is down at Warrnambool with the Trek Store, which is your business. What's the full name of me that again?
It's full throttle coaching.
Full throttle coaching, that's all right. So, Sydney Motorsport Park, you hadn't been here before?
So I've been here before on the R3, but I've only ridden the R3 once here, and that was 12 months ago. And then before that, I last rode here maybe 7 years ago on the Moto 3. So to be honest, yeah, Sydney Motorsport Park's definitely not a common track for me. So yeah, we were definitely doing a lot of learning last night, which is why we dropped our lap time so much in between each session.
Right.
But yeah, overall we're super happy. I managed to do the fastest R7 lap time by I think a second and a half.
Oh, sweet!
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Someone said that to me.
Look, watching you from turn 15, yeah, I was pretty excited. I mean, I'm watching everybody, but on the distinctive, what do we say, aggressive salmon or hot pink, the hot pink and white machine was very easy to spot, and so it was great to watch you going around. What's the biggest learning with the R7 then? So switching up.
To be honest, yeah, from the R3 to the R7, the biggest change is obviously the weight of the bike. The R3 is quite light and nimble, whereas R7 is the same actual weight as a superbike. Weighs about 180 kilos. Obviously, having the fatter rear tyre as well. Obviously that was a pretty big thing to try and get used to. For us as well, obviously with the WorldWCR spec bike, we run a fully stock setup. So the front end on our bike is totally stock. We don't run steering dampeners. We can't change fork springs. We can't change fork oil. There's nothing that we can change. So while we can make little tiny adjustments here and there, literally yesterday we didn't make a single change on the bike. All that we changed was how I was physically riding the bike.
Yeah.
Changing body positioning, and I know that sounds really silly because I'm a world championship rider, and here we are testing body positioning. But on these R7s, because they're so exact and so precise, if I don't get my body over and I can carry too much lean angle, then I lose my rear grip. It's got nothing to do with the rear shock setting. It's literally just got to do with how I position myself and set myself up on the bike. So yeah, they I guess have been the biggest learnings for us, throughout the whole season. Which has been cool. It's always a constant adaptation.
Right, and that's the Muck of Champions. Is as you go through in different tracks, different motorcycles, and the development of the technology. Now, Ted is a great partner. So I've just picked up on as we made changes. I've been loving your blogs. So if you haven't watched it, then Tayla Relph, give a plug to your channel.
Yeah. So I've got my YouTube blog channel, which is sponsored by AMX Superstores in the WorldWCR. So yeah, with thanks to these guys, obviously I can take everyone along in WorldWCR and give everyone a little bit of behind the scenes of what a family-run team actually looks like. And yeah, obviously that's just another way of giving inspiration to other people out there to show that just because we are up against factory teams doesn't mean a little family team can't stand on the podium as well.
And I love the concept of little family team, Taylor, because we've been watching you and Ted's engagement and everything else. So there's a love story there as well as the race story. But the race story itself, I mean, sitting down debriefing with Ted at the computer and going through, and he's trying to tell you this corner, that, and you're I did this, I did that. But, it's really quite an insight into the thinking. I've done really no racing myself, but I have done coaching rides, on this track myself, and it's interesting to see it on just from the other side and being able to get that more perspective of what it takes rather than just having somebody going around on the pure talent. It is a lot of technical and a lot of learning and a lot of scholarly sort of study of what's the science is incredible. The physics, I'm a bit of a science nerd, and the physics of fast road motorcycle riding is really very much part of it. Well, I'm going to leave you go. I've got to go back, and I'm working the grid tonight as part of my Clark of course training, so I'm starting to move up the things, and then tomorrow I've got to race back to Canberra. I've got motocross, would you believe, to do that as well. Yeah, well, doing it in the dirt and doing it in the water tonight. So I'll be sleeping in the van overnight, but it's been great to catch up with you.
Yeah, you too, and yeah, thank you to all the volunteers that obviously help us race. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do it at all.
And what do we always want the marshals to be doing?
Waving green flag.
Waving green. Okay, catch you very much, and always keep the shiny side up.